Can you really travel through Europe for a week with just $200? Most people would say no. They'd list flights, hotels, and fancy dinners as deal breakers. But I wanted to prove travel isn't just for the rich, it's for the curious and the brave. My challenge: explore Budapest, Vienna, and Prague on a budget most people spend in a night. With only $200 for 7 days, every cent mattered. Accommodation, food, transport, and fun. No tourist traps, no taxis, no room for mistakes. This wasn't a vacation. It was a test of resourcefulness and connection. I believe travel is about experience, not expense. By stripping away luxury, I hope to find something more authentic, living, eating, and moving like a local. I was ready to be pushed out of my comfort zone and into the heart of each city. This mindset was my most valuable tool, so follow along as I share every trick and lesson I learned. I'll show you how I found cheap places to sleep, delicious meals for less than a coffee, and traveled between cities for the price of a movie ticket. This isn't a story about what I couldn't afford. It's about everything I gained by traveling with less. I hope it inspires you to see your own adventure is closer and more affordable than you think. My first challenge in Budapest was getting from the airport to the city centre without blowing my budget. Taxis and shuttles were out, so I hopped on the local 100 bus for just $3, a small win that set the tone. Next, I checked into a hostel I'd booked in advance for $12 a night. The real magic: the community. The common room buzzed with travelers sharing stories and meals. That first night, I met a student from Brazil, a musician from Australia, and a writer from Canada. We pooled our groceries and cooked a big pasta dinner together. Instant friendships like these are priceless and unique to budget travel. Later, we walked along the Danube, watching the Parliament building glow against the night sky. No money spent, but unforgettable. I realized the best experiences come from simple things and shared moments. My $200 budget wasn't a limitation. It was a passport to richer connections. Hostels aren't just about saving money. They're about finding a community. That night I went to sleep grateful and excited for what was ahead. The journey had just begun, and already I felt at home. Sometimes the cheapest choices lead to the richest memories. Travel is about people, not price tags. And in Budapest, I found my first travel family. Getting around Budapest on a budget meant skipping taxis and embracing public transport. For $5, I bought a 24-hour ticket, unlimited rides on trams, buses, and the metro. My favorite? Tram 2, which glides along the Danube with views of Buda Castle and the Chain Bridge. It felt like a guided tour for the price of a coffee. Pro tip: scenic public transport routes beat expensive tour buses every time. For intercity travel, I booked Flixbus tickets weeks in advance, Budapest to Vienna for just $15. The bus was comfy with Wi-Fi and power outlets. Planning ahead and using apps to check schedules saved me even more. I also walked everywhere I could, free and the best way to discover hidden gems. By mixing walking, public transport, and budget buses, I kept costs low and experiences high. My feet were tired, but my wallet was happy. Smart transport choices made all the difference. In Budapest, every dollar stretched further than I imagined. The city opened up, one tram ride at a time. Vienna's elegance is legendary and expensive, but I tackled it as a focused day trip. I packed my own lunch and water, skipping pricey city centre food. My first stop, Hofburg Palace. I wandered the courtyards and gardens for free, soaking up imperial history. Next, St. Stephen's Cathedral, free to enter the main hall and breathtaking inside. Vienna's streets are an open-air museum. I window shopped and admired the architecture. For the famous cafe culture, I bought a pastry from a local bakery for $2 and enjoyed it in a public square. With a little planning, I experienced Vienna's magic without breaking the bank. It's about priorities and finding free alternatives that are just as memorable. The city's beauty is everywhere. You just have to look. My day in Vienna proved you don't need a big budget for a grand experience. Sometimes the best moments are the ones that cost nothing at all. Vienna's charm is accessible to anyone willing to explore creatively. And that's the real secret to budget travel. After Vienna, I caught another budget bus to Prague. My hostel here was just $10 a night. Staying outside the tourist centre meant cheaper food and a more local vibe. First stop, Charles Bridge at sunrise. Free, magical, and nearly empty. I lingered, listening to street musicians and admiring the view of Prague Castle. Next, I climbed to the castle grounds, free to enter, with stunning city views. I peeked into St. Vitus Cathedral and wandered the courtyards, all without spending a cent. In the old town square, I watched the astronomical clock and got lost in winding streets. I found a quiet park to rest and soak in the atmosphere. Prague invites you to walk and discover. Every corner reveals something new. The most enchanting parts of the city didn't cost a thing. Budget travel is about finding beauty that's available to everyone. My time in Prague proved you don't need a royal budget for a fairy tale experience. Sometimes the city's magic is free for all, and that's the real treasure. Eating well on a budget is all about thinking like a local. In Budapest, I shopped at the Great Market Hall. Fresh bread, cheese and sausage for a few dollars became my lunch. Hungarian street food like langos was filling and cheap. Grocery stores were my go-to in every city. Yogurt, fruit and pastries for breakfast, sandwiches for lunch. I always carried a reusable water bottle, saving money and the planet. Bakeries were a secret weapon. Delicious pastries for less than $1 in Prague. I looked for places with local crowds, a sure sign of good, affordable food. Occasionally I'd splurge on a lunch special at a family-run pub, like goulash soup and bread for $6. Lunch menus are almost always cheaper than dinner. By mixing grocery store picnics, bakery snacks, and the occasional cheap meal out, I ate well and tasted real local flavors. I never went hungry, and every meal felt like a discovery. Eating like a local isn't just cheaper, it's more authentic, and it's a delicious part of the adventure. The best moments on a budget trip are often free. In Budapest, I spent an afternoon on Margaret Island. Gardens, fountains and peace, all for nothing. I'd sit in busy squares, people watching and soaking up city life. In Vienna, I listened to music drifting from the opera house windows. In Prague, street performers and artists filled the old town square with energy. Free walking tours were a highlight. Local guides, fascinating stories, and you pay what you can. The real magic came from spontaneous moments. A conversation with a local, getting lost in a new neighborhood, or watching the sunset with hostel friends. These weren't on any itinerary, they happened because I was open and present. The world's best experiences don't come with a price tag. Travel slowly, say yes to the unexpected, and you'll find magic everywhere. Free moments connect you to a place in a way money never could. That's the true reward of budget travel, and it's available to anyone. As my week ended, I realized this trip wasn't about surviving on $200. It was about thriving. My tight budget unlocked a different kind of travel, creative, resourceful, and deeply connected. I didn't buy souvenirs. My memories and friendships were the real treasures. The biggest lesson? Confidence. I navigated foreign cities, found food and shelter, and trusted my instincts. I learned happiness isn't about what you can buy, it's about simple pleasures and human connection. This minimalist approach made me more grateful and mindful. I now see wealth in experiences, not things. The world is friendlier than we think. Kindness met me everywhere. Hostel staff, locals, and fellow travelers all helped shape my journey. This trip restored my faith in humanity and reminded me we're all connected. The friendships I made, even brief, were the true treasure. These connections are why we travel, and they're worth more than anything money can buy. So, is it possible to travel Europe for a week on $200? Absolutely! This journey was more than a cheap vacation. It was a lesson in what matters. Adventure isn't about your bank account. It's about courage and curiosity. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or a big budget. Start small, maybe a weekend trip or a week-long adventure like mine. Be creative, stay in hostels, use public transport, eat street food and walk everywhere. Look for free activities and beautiful views. Your experience will be richer and more authentic. Don't let money hold you back from your travel dreams. The world is full of beauty and kindness, much of it free. All you need is a plan, a positive attitude, and the courage to go. Pack your bag, book that ticket, and start your own adventure. The world is waiting. Go